Hey guys, it's RagingRaidRaptor here, and today I will provide you with a deck guide to my personal favourite deck in the game currently, Raidraptors. In this video, I will explain what their playstyle is, what cards you definitely need to play in order to play the deck efficiently, how their effects work in the context of the deck, as well as give you some suggestions for tech cards without going through any unnecessary fluff that the archetype unfortunately has. So, let's get started. So what do Raidraptors do? Well, they are a dark attribute wing beast deck that focuses on three main mechanics: rank 4 spam, rank up magic cards, and heavy search ability. So, I'm going to talk about the staples that you absolutely need to play Raidraptors. The first one I'm going to talk about is Raidraptor Tribulanius. Raidraptor Tribulanius is essentially Lavarval Chain for Raidraptors, since it allows you to send any Raidraptor monster from your deck into the graveyard. With this effect, you'll mainly use it to send Mimicry to the graveyard and then use Mimicry's effect to search any Raidraptor card from your deck. Granted, it's not as abusable as Lavarval Chain, as you can only use this effect once per turn. However, it is still an excellent way to gaining advantage in your deck as well as potential deck thinning. Its second effect, although not quite as easy to use, as you need to destroy a monster in battle with this card. Once you do, you can search any quick play rank up spell cards from your deck. However, you do need to be careful when using this effect, as you are immediately restricted to only special summoning Raidraptor monsters after you activate it. However, you can easily play around this by special summoning all your non-Raidraptor monster XEs, for example, and then you can activate the second effect of Tribulanius last. The next card I want to talk about is Raidraptor Sharplanius, as it can special summon any Raidraptor monster from the graveyard after it has attacked. This will allow you to use the effect of any Raidraptor monster that you just summoned to either gain you more advantage by additional searching, more rank 4 spam, or even just using the two cards to special summon another rank 4. But you might be wondering, what if your opponent has a monster that has more attack points than it? Well, the solution lies in the second effect, where you can target any attack position monster on the field and switch it into defense mode, which is pretty good, even though targeting has been power creeped, as you can still attack into it and still get its effect off regardless of whether or not it has more defense points. The next card is Raidraptor Vanishing Lanius, easily the most abusable card in the entire archetype in my opinion. Although it only has one effect, it is extremely powerful, as you can special summon any Raidraptor monster from the hand. However, unlike the effects of the other Raidraptor monsters, you can use this effect as many times as you are able to summon Vanishing Laniuses, as the card text clearly states, once per turn during the main phase if this card was normal or special summoned. This means you can summon one Vanishing Lanius to summon another Vanishing Lanius and then special summon another Raidraptor monster from your hand. Or you can special summon it from a graveyard with the effect of Sharplanius, then summon another Raidraptor monster from your hand, which can get pretty ridiculous at times. The next card is Raidraptor Mimicry Lanius. Its first effect allows you to increase the level of all Raidraptor monsters by 1, which can potentially allow you to special summon some rank 5s. However, you are probably not going to use this effect, considering that the extra deck space for this archetype is extremely tight. What you are mainly going to use this card for is searching a Raidraptor card by banishing it from the graveyard, since sending it to the graveyard isn't too difficult, as you can mill it from the deck with the effect of Tribulanius, discard it with the effect of Twin Twister, or detach it to activate XYZ monsters like Forstrix, Castell, or even Bladeburner Falcon. However, you do need to remember to use this effect on the turn that you send it to the graveyard, as the card text states, if this card was sent to the graveyard this turn, also you can only use it once per turn. The next card I want to talk about is Raidraptor Fuzzy Lanius. I think he's a very good card, as he can special summon himself from the hand if you have a Raidraptor monster on the field, and can search another copy of himself if he is sent to the graveyard once per turn. However, you do need to be careful when using this effect, as you can only special summon Raidraptor monsters on the turn you activate it. You will not be able to use any of these effects if you've already summoned a non-Raidraptor monster during that turn. The next card is Raidraptor Singing Lanius. Very simple effect, it can special summon itself from the hand if you control any Xyz monster on the field. This effect can be very useful if you want to go into double 4-Strix for example, or go into Diamond Direwolf or Castell for example. But you do need to be careful as you can only special summon one of these once per turn. The next card is Raidraptor Pain Lanius. Unlike the other Raidraptors, this is a level 1 monster. But that won't matter too much considering that its effect allows you to special summon it from the hand by selecting any Raidraptor monster on the field, take damage to either its attack or defense points depending on which is lower, and then make itself the same level as that monster. Much like Singing Lanius, this is also very good at helping you extend your combos and manipulate your own life points, which can be very important to activate the effect of Blade Burner Falcon. However, the main downside to this card is that you can only use it to special summon Winged Beast Xyz monsters, which isn't an issue if you want to summon 4-Strix or Castell, but can be a problem if you want to special summon other monsters like Abyss Dweller or 101. Finally, the last main deck monster I want to talk about is Raidraptor Lastrix. Do you see what I did there? Jokes aside, this single card can actually make it easy to summon higher ranked Raidraptor Xyz monsters from the deck, as it can special summon any Raidraptor Xyz monster regardless of what rank it is on the field in defense mode. However, you do need to make sure that you use the rank up card on that turn, since the monster you special summoned with it will instantly return back to the extra deck during your end phase. Now that we've covered what I consider to be the important main deck monsters of the deck, let's discuss the extra deck monsters, starting with one that you are going to summon the most out of all the others, and that is Raidraptor 4-Strix. This card can search any level 4 Darkwing Beast monster from your deck, which really helps the speed and consistency of the deck, as you can potentially search 2 cards if you use either Fuzzy or Mimicry Lanius as materials. On an interesting note, you can also use this card in Blackwings, as they also run level 4 Darkwing Beast monsters. The only downside to this card that I can think of is that it can't search either Pain Lanius or Lastrix, but considering that it can search all the other important Raidraptor cards, you should absolutely run it. The next extra deck monster I would recommend is Raidraptor Blade Burner Falcon. This card can easily help you make some really cheesy comebacks, as it can increase its attack points to 4,000 if you have 3,000 or less life points than your opponent. And to top it off, it can destroy any number of monsters equal to the number of materials detached from it after it destroys a monster in battle. And because it is a Raidraptor monster, you can special summon it even if you are under the effects of Fuzzy Lanius. Although this card is not a Raidraptor monster, I still think you should play it regardless, since you can special summon it with just one card. And that is Cyber Dragon Infinity. Yes, the infamous card that got Tellarknight Ptolemaeus banned on the adjusted list. All I can say is that being 101 with no cost and less restrictions, while also being a negation for everything apart from speed spell free and inherent special summoning, is really good. But with how fast the format is right now, I strongly believe that you need to back him up with other monsters like Evil Swarm Nightmare or Trapstrix Rafflesia in order to protect him. Going back to Raidraptor monsters, the next card is Raidraptor Revolution Falcon. This card can potentially win you games at times, as it can easily put out a lot of damage with its free amazing effects. Its first effect is that it can attack every special summoned monster on your opponent's side of the field by detaching one material from it. Although this might not sound too impressive with its low 2000 attack, its second effect makes it worth it, as when it attacks a special summoned monster, it reduces that monster's stats to 0. If that wasn't strong enough, it can even target a monster on your opponent's side of the field, destroy it, then your opponent takes damage equal to half of its attack points. The next card is very much overlooked, as it is mainly used as a combo piece in order to special summon Raidraptor Ultimate Falcon, but it is still an incredibly powerful card in its own right, mainly for its first effect, which is a Harpy's Feather Duster that can be immediately activated when it is summoned and cannot be negated. The second effect is also pretty good, as it can lower the attack points of any monster by 800 times the number of Raidraptor monsters in your graveyard, The next card is probably the most infamous card in the entire archetype, and that is Raidraptor Ultimate Falcon. A lot of people say that this is Clifford Towers 2.0, as it is unaffected by card effects. However, the other effects of this card are much stronger than Towers were. The other effects are that you can prevent your opponent from activating cards for the whole turn, and then every monster or opponent side of the field will lose 1000 attack points by detaching a material from it, which is absolutely insane, as it can allow for OTKs and your opponent will not be able to do anything to stop you. If that wasn't scary enough, this card can also inflict 1000 points of damage to your opponent during either player's end phase if they do not have a monster face up on the field. And even if they do, you can use the same effect to lower all your opponent's monsters by 1000 attack points, provided that it has Xyz material on it. On another note, even if you are able to get rid of this thing, you still haven't completely gotten rid of it, as unlike Towers, this card can be special summoned from the graveyard with effects like Skip Force and Raidraptor Sharplanius, which is ridiculous if you ask me. Moving on to the spell cards, we have Raidraptor's Nest. This card grants you extra search power as well as graveyard recovery, since it allows you to add any Raidraptor monster from either your deck or your graveyard and then add it to your hand. This really helps with the speed and recovery factor of the deck considerably, but you can only use the effect of one Raidraptor Nest per turn, meaning that you cannot get 2 additional searches by having 2 of them face up on the field at the same time. Also, what you need to keep in mind with this card is that you need to have at least 2 Raidraptor monsters on the field to activate it. The next spell is Allure of Darkness. Although not Raidraptor support, it is still a staple in any dark deck. This card allows you to draw 2 cards from your deck, and then you have to banish any dark monster from your hand, but if you are unable to meet the conditions of this card, you have to discard your entire hand. However, this isn't a problem considering that you can search dark monsters in the form of your Raidraptor monsters ridiculously easy. The next spell is a rank up card in the form of Raidraptor Magic Soul Shaver. Like Raidraptor Bladeburner Falcon, this can potentially steal games as you can summon any Xyz monster that is 2 ranks higher than any Raidraptor monster in your graveyard. This means that you can potentially go into either Ultimate or Satellite Falcon, but you are mainly going to use it to special summon either Revolution Falcon or Cyber Dragon Infinity, since Forstrix is the card that you're going to be special summoning the most. Also, the cost of this card isn't particularly high, considering that all you have to do is pay half your life points, meaning that you will always be able to activate it unless you've lost the game. The next card is another rank up card in the form of Rank Up Magic Skip Force. This card is the most traditional rank up card in the entire Raidraptor arsenal, as it can special summon any Raidraptor Xyz monster that is 2 ranks higher than another Raidraptor Xyz monster you control on the field. Although this card is mainly used to special summon Ultimate Falcon in combination with Raidraptor Lastrix, you can also special summon Satellite Falcon with this combo, or Revolution Falcon using Forstrix as a target. Additionally, this card can also special summon any Raidraptor Xyz monster from the graveyard by banishing another Raidraptor monster from the graveyard in addition to this card, allowing you to special summon Raidraptor Ultimate Falcon or special summon Forstrix again to summon F-Zero. Well, that is the end of part 1 of the Raidraptor deck guide. If you would like to hear my opinions on some of the tech cards you can run, I will have the link in the description below. I've been RagingRaidRaptor, and I'll see you all in the next video.